Today I'm here at the SatCon 2009 show in New York's Jacob Javits Center, and I'm speaking with Matthew Rosenstein, who's the Director of Corporate Communications at GlobeCast. Matthew, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Enjoying the show today.
Great. So tell me a little bit about your company, please.
Well, GlobeCast is a division of France Telecom. We're a broadcast service provider, and we do content management and content delivery, mostly for broadcasters. Our traditional business has been bringing broadcasters from point A to point B via satellite, via fiber, but now we've moved a lot into the content management space as well.
Great. Now, we talked a little bit about your hybrid approach where you've got satellite and fiber, and so can you tell me a little bit about how that works and why you use both technologies?
Sure, because satellite is a great solution when you're doing point to multi-point. When you've reached the area that your channel needs to be, satellite is a wonderful solution to get as many eyeballs as quickly as possible. But when we're doing global distribution, global channel distribution, fiber is the most cost-effective and most reliable way to get your channel where it needs to go. For example, an American channel that wants to broadcast in Asia, we would bring that channel most likely via fiber from New York or Los Angeles to Singapore or Hong Kong and do the satellite uplink from there. And then you have access via satellite to a number of direct-to-home households throughout Asia, to thousands of cable head-ends, so your channel can be picked up on cable networks as well. So
really the most efficient, cost-effective, and rapidly, distributed way of just getting content to the right people, right?
Yeah, it would be a hybrid approach using both satellite and fiber.
So bringing the best of both together.
Exactly.
So in terms of some of the things you're doing going forward, can you just give me a roadmap of, we talked a little bit about your network and I think it was the content delivery. How does that work exactly?
Absolutely. Where we see things going is we're dealing a lot more obviously with HD than ever before, especially for sports content, news content. So we've done a number of upgrades around the world to make sure that our centers are not only HD ready, but have the latest encoders and the latest technology to maximize bandwidth and maximize image quality for our customers. So that's been a big development for us. And then there are other areas in the content management space that we're moving more into. We acquired a software company in France called Nedia that does media asset management software. So now in-house we have software developers that have come up with solutions allowing broadcasters to organize and manage their media assets, their library, in a sense, before it gets distributed over GlobeCast satellite and fiber network. So that's going over very well with our broadcast clients, and we're seeing a lot of interest in that space as well.
Great. Now we talked a little bit about Latin America. What's happening down there?
Well, there's a lot of demand now coming both into Latin America and from Latin America on the part of broadcasters. It's a huge market, and we're trying to now augment our fiber network. We are in the process of sort of beefing up our fiber network to have fiber connectivity to Latin America, especially with all of the sporting events coming up in 2010. Latin America is filled with sports fans, obviously, and soccer, football is very big there with the World Cup on the horizon. There's no way that we can't have all the available capacity going into Latin America. So we already have satellite connectivity there, notably on a platform NSS 806. Numerous satellite platforms that we have cover the Latin American, South American region, but we're looking to complement that with fiber delivery as well so that we can provide the most cost-effective solution for broadcasters going into Latin America and coming from Latin America to the rest of the world.
Thanks. Now, we had talked a little bit about having someone such as a reporter doing an interview and uploading it in an internet cafe. And could you walk me through that in terms of what kinds of technology you have to aid in that situation?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, basically, of course, broadcast is going ever more mobile. We have a fleet of SNG trucks, that when news happens in the world, we send our satellite trucks to where it's happening, and we do an uplink from there. But that's not enough anymore because in order to be as reactive as possible, broadcasters often want one of their representatives in the field to be able to get footage more quickly than one can send a truck. So GlobeCast came up with a software solution called GlobeCast Content Exchange. What Content Exchange does is it allows a reporter in the field to film their content and then upload that to their PC and send and share it with that network using any internet connection securely through our VPN on a platform that's really built for video content, for heavy-duty, large files that, is basically optimized for video transmission. If that connection gets interrupted for any reason, let's say you're halfway through uploading a file, the connection gets cut off, you can go to another internet connection and it'll pick up right where it left off, unlike FTP, for example, where if you're FTPing a file and it gets cut in the middle, you're in a bad situation and need to start all over again. So that's been a great product for us. And it recently was also approved for use with the Inmarsat network. So for broadcasters that want a guaranteed bandwidth, if they have an an Inmarsat modem, then they can use Content Exchange with that, have their guaranteed bandwidth, and basically uplink their content from anywhere, get it back to the studio where editors can get it ready for distribution.
Well, that's very exciting. And when did that news break?
The Inmarsat news just broke at IBC this year in Amsterdam in September of 2009.
So you probably are in the process of signing on people, right, that are...
Absolutely. We've seen a lot of interest because Inmarsat has a lot of subscribers. But Content Exchange is already used by a lot of major broadcasters around the world. In France especially, TF1 and LCI, which are some of the biggest channels and news channels in France, already have hundreds of users using Content Exchange to send content from the field.
Great. So what's next for the company?
So what's next for the company is continuing to develop our network, also continuing to innovate in the media asset management space, because it's all well and good to transmit content from A to B, but whenever you can add value to that and take a headache away from the broadcaster, that's where you're going to do some real business. So that's the development area for GlobeCast, is more media asset management solutions, more HD optimization, and basically to have a more global presence, and
that's great.
That's about it.
So I'm going to ask you just a quick footnote question that just occurred to me. 3D, has anyone started talking to you about that yet?
Absolutely. Where we're seeing the most demand for 3D right now, we haven't done much 3D to the home, but where we're seeing the most demand for 3D is for live events. For example, we recently delivered an opera from the west of France to Paris live in 3D to cinemas. And for the French Tennis Open, the Roland Garros also, we recently delivered that competition live in 3D to cinemas throughout France and throughout Spain. So that's definitely a growth area for us as well. Not a big moneymaker for the moment, but definitely a technical feat and something that we're proud to work with.
Well, it's very exciting to see how it develops. I heard some people talking at the show earlier today that 3D is cool, but will advertisers pay for it? And I still don't have the answer to that myself. But these technologies, they start off as cool, and oftentimes we find later that they are monetized. So good luck. Let's see how that plays out. And thanks for being on the show.
You're very welcome. It was great to be here.